Hi everyone, my name is Emisu, better known as emasureads on TikTok. I am a book tech content creator, and this is my first ever long format video on this channel. Woo! I'm excited to be here. This is a long time coming. I put this off for a couple months because the idea of having a long format video is very daunting and requires a lot of commitment. But starting now, I'll be posting a video every week. So make sure you guys subscribe and turn on that notification bell to find out when the next video comes out. Without further ado, let's get into the video. I somehow finished 19 books in the shortest month of the year, which is quite a surprise because after Onyx Storm came out in January, I was in a huge reading slump. It was very hard to like any other books during that time, and you'll see that most of the books I read in February are actually contemporary romance, but there is one completed fantasy series that got me out of the reading slump, which I picked up at the end of February. So I started the month off with the fourth book in the Windy City series by Liz Tomford. I gave this book 5 stars. This is Isaiah Rhodes and Kennedy Kay's story. Isaiah is the brother of Kai Rhodes from Caught Up, and oh my god, the Rhodes brothers, there's just something about them. Like, they are just top tier men. If you want a man that knows how to pine, yearn, and beg for his woman, you need to read about Isaiah. Yeah, this man has been pining for Kennedy for 3 years. He is literally on his knees for her, and she has him wrap around her finger. He's so obsessed that he changed his walkout song to Obsessed by Mariah Carey because of Kennedy. There is more to the song that he chose, but you need to read it to find out. And then I picked up Red Thorns and Black Thorns by Rena Kent. This is a dark mafia romance duet, and I'm in my Rena-verse journey right now, so I'm going through all of her books. And so far, unfortunately, these two have been my least liked, because Red Thorns I gave 2 stars and Black Thorns I gave 1 star. This was a little disappointing for me that I didn't like it, especially in the second book. There was just this weird time skip, like a huge gap from book 1 to book 2 where it's 7 years later. It's just like, no, I didn't like that. But don't let this deter you guys from picking it up. Personally, it wasn't for me. And then I read the Dreamland Billionaire series by Lauren Asher because I really enjoyed the Lakefront Billionaires from her when I read it back in December. And oh my god, this series was also very enjoyable. The fine print I gave 4 stars. It was very dreamy, very fluffy romance type. Terms and conditions I gave 4.5 stars. This one has the grumpy boss, outgoing assistant romance trope. And yeah, it's a fun time. It's fun time. I love Iris. She's one of the best FMCs I've read about. And then Final Offer I gave 4.75 stars because of Cal. It's Callahan Kane. The best Kane. The most lovable Kane. The most obsessed Kane. This man literally traded his sports car for an SUV because the woman that he loves told him his car is not safe for her daughter. And he is starting to form this relationship with her kid. And he wants to make sure that her daughter is safe. I just realized this is like a heavy Kindle reading month for me because most of the books I read are actually on the Kindle. So if you guys ever feel like picking these up but don't want to commit to the physical copy, check them out on the Kindle Unlimited because they're all there. So then I took a dark turn and actually read a dark psychological thriller romance. It's called Grave Matter by Karina Hall. The amount of whiplash that I got from reading this book, I gave this book 4.5 stars. If you like Nocticadia by Carrie Lake, you need to pick this book up. It has that similar type of vibe, with Grave Matter also being set in an isolated island run by a secret society, or in this case a prestigious foundation that's studying Alzheimer's research. And instead of studying parasites like in Nocticadia, this one studies fungi. So there's that. I could not for the life of me figure out where the story was gonna go. The plot twists were so freaking good. I feel like I was hurting my brain the whole time I was reading this. This confuddled my brain. Is that a word? And then I went back to Lauren Asher by picking up Throttled, which is the first book in the Dirty Air series. This is a Formula 1 sports romance, which I haven't read any of before. Each book follows a different couple. This one follows Noah and Maya. Noah is a famous Formula 1 driver, and Maya just graduated university and she's trying to figure out where her life's gonna go. They met during one of Noah's competitions because Maya's brother is an up-and-coming Formula 1 driver that is also signed under the same company as Noah. And things, they get heated. I gave this book 4 stars. It was a fun time. And then I entered my cowboy romance era with Elsie Silver's The Chestnut Spring series. I read the first 3 books and boy were they a surprise. Flawless, I gave 4 stars. I thought it was a great introduction to cowboy romance with Rhett and Summer story. It was cute. And I didn't know Elsie Silver was Canadian, so the fact that it's set in Canada and in the same province that I live in. Heartless, which is the second book in a series, I gave 5 stars. I love Cade Eaton. The single daddy trope just does it for me every single time. Like, this man is so grumpy and broody to everyone else but his kid and to Willa. His mouth, his filthy mouth. You wouldn't expect it from this man, but oh my god, he is my favorite. This has a single daddy and nanny trope. It's a fun time. I love this so much. And in the third book, Powerless, I gave 4.5 stars. This is a friends to lovers trope, and this is one of my favorite friends to lovers trope. This is done so well. Jasper and Sloane's story, it actually pains me because of what they go through. Jasper being such a tortured soul, okay, and then Sloane bring the best out of him. Ugh. After years of knowing each other, they just can tell what the other person is thinking without saying anything. And that connection is so rare to find. They just make sense, you know what I mean? I'll definitely be picking up the rest of the books this month. Now, after reading all those lovey-dovey stories, I needed some emotional damage and turmoil in my life. So I picked up the Magnolia Parks series, starting with Magnolia Parks and Daisy Hates. I read these in tandem because the storylines just flowed so well together. Magnolia Parks, I gave 4.25 stars because Magnolia and BJ, as much as I love them together, like, they definitely deserve each other. There's literally no other option. They have to be endgame. I love it for them, but they're not my favorites. Daisy Hates, however, I gave this book 5 stars. Daisy Hates and Christian Hems, they just make sense. This is where I need them to be together in the end. There are so many things that I love about Daisy that I relate to. The way that she carries herself, her demeanor, her actions, her thought process. She is me. I could feel connection between that character. And Christian Hems, I can't even talk about him without crying. Okay, well, pause. He is literally one of my top book boyfriends after reading this. This man deserves the world. I tell you, he deserves to be loved how he loves. The ending to this book just breaks my heart. And I know I could have gone to the next 2 sets right away, but the ending to this just did so much damage that I needed a break after reading this. Like, I will be picking it up again, but I just don't know when. Like, it pains me too much. Daisy and Christian just have my entire heart, body, and soul, and no matter what, in my head, no matter how it ends, they are together, okay? I am giving them a happy ever after in my head. Yeah, because we don't have the 3rd book for them. We don't have, I think they're supposed to have 2 more books, but we don't have them yet. So I'm scared to read Daisy Hates the Great Undoing because there's no next book after that. I'm just scared. I'm scared. If you guys are interested in the tandem read, I will post a screenshot right here so that you guys know what chapters goes with what and how sequential the storyline is. It's very good. And that way you guys can also feel the pain like I feel the pain, okay? I want you guys to feel all of the emotions by reading it as a tandem read. After all of those contemporary and dark romance books, it was time for me to pick up a fantasy series. And this was a hard choice because every book that I picked up, I could not feel the connection to. I actually DNF'd probably 3 fantasy books because my mind just wasn't into it. So then I picked up the Psycho Shifters, which is the first book in the Cruel Shifterverse series by Jasmine Maz, and it changed my life. This brought me out of my month-long reading slump for fantasy. I'm so grateful for this series. I literally binged this. I finished all 6 books in 6 days. That is 1 book per day on average. Now this series is a dark fantasy why choose reverse harem series, which is not my usual type of read. However, Jasmine Miles is the same author as Blood of Hercules, and I love that book. I read it back in January and it was also very addicting. I also finished that in like 24 hours or less. So this series itself did not disappoint. The Cruel Shifterverse is a whole new type of world to me because it involves shifters, fays, humans, demons, angels, devils, gods, and monsters, all type of creatures that have their own realms but are connected with portals. And this whole series follows 2 female main protagonists, Sadie and Arabella. The first 3 books follow Sadie's story, and then the last 3 books follows Arabella's, but both of them are actually part of the overarching plot and their stories are intertwined. So you see a lot of both of them in each of the books. And they are the baddest duo I've met so far because they are just so unhinged and they are both deranged. They have these voices in their head that tell them to kill. They are literal soul sisters. They are platonic soulmates and they need each other. Like one could not live without the other. You know what I mean? They are that duo. The men are great. The men know how to grovel. They crawl on their knees for their women, okay? They will do anything for their women, but the women themselves are the highlight in this series. For me personally, I enjoyed the banter that those two have. Like it was just so entertaining. I literally could not stop giggling and kicking my feet. I was up from 4 p.m. to 4 a.m. finishing 1 book because I couldn't put it down. I was stuck to my Kindle screen the whole time. I was basically non-sociable for the whole 6 days. It feels like a blur now because all I did was read, even though I worked. I don't even know what I did at work. Did I do the right things at work? I hope I did. The book just consumed my entire brain, you know? Every brain cell was occupied with that series. Like nothing else mattered. And each book literally got better as I went along. Average for the series as a whole is a 4-star. It's a 4-star series. Let this be a sign that whenever you're in a reading slump, go out of your comfort zone. Pick up that book that you thought you wouldn't like because I think it's what helped me for sure. If you guys made it to the end of the video, let me know what your guys' favorite read was for the month of February and what you would recommend for me as a fantasy reader to read in March. And also, if you have any suggestions for the next video, comment down below. Mwah! I love you guys. Thank you so much for watching and happy reading.